Before you scroll away, take a moment to think about this. The Lincoln Memorial pennies sitting in jars, drawers, and pockets all across America could be worth far more than 1 cent. Some of these pennies have sold for hundreds, thousands, and in rare cases staggering amounts because of key dates, mint errors, and overlooked varieties that collectors are actively hunting today. In this video, you'll learn how to spot valuable Lincoln Memorial pennies, why certain years and mint marks matter, and what makes these coins so desirable in the U.S. coin market right now. Watch until the end, because one small detail most people ignore could mean the difference between a common penny and a valuable collectible. If you want trusted information on rare U.S. coins and real coin values, subscribe to the channel and stay with us, because you don't want to miss what comes next. Coin number 1. Most people have held this coin in their hands without ever realizing what it could represent. The 1959 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark looks ordinary at first glance, yet it marks one of the most important transitions in U.S. coin history. This was the very first year the Lincoln Memorial replaced the wheat ears on the reverse, and that single design change transformed the Lincoln cent into a new era of collecting. What makes this coin especially interesting is that it was struck in Philadelphia without a mint mark, meaning hundreds of millions were produced, but only a very small percentage survive today in the condition and with the characteristics that serious collectors are willing to pay premium money for. This is exactly why this penny continues to surprise people and why demand remains strong in the American coin market. Collectors value this coin not simply because of its age, but because it represents a historic milestone. The Lincoln Memorial design introduced fine architectural details that were never used before on a circulating U.S. penny. For the first time, Lincoln himself could be seen seated inside the memorial, a detail so small that many people still do not notice it. That level of artistry created new challenges during striking, and those challenges resulted in varieties, weak strikes, and die-related characteristics that collectors actively search for today. When you understand what to look for, the 1959 No Mintmark penny becomes much more than pocket change. Condition plays a critical role in determining value. While worn examples are common, high-grade, uncirculated coins are not. Pennies from 1959 were heavily used in everyday commerce, which means most surviving examples show contact marks, dull surfaces, or color changes. Coins that retain full mint luster, sharp strike details on Lincoln's hair and coat, and strong definition on the memorial columns are scarce. Professional grading services closely examine these details, and coins that achieve top grades can command dramatic premiums compared to average examples. Another factor that increases collector interest is strike quality. Many 1959 pennies show weak or uneven strikes, especially on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Coins with fully struck steps and crisp lettering stand out immediately to advanced collectors. These details are not easy to find, even among uncirculated rolls. As a result, when a sharply struck example appears on the market, competition among buyers can be intense. Color also matters greatly with this coin. Original red copper surfaces are especially desirable. Over time, copper naturally tones to brown or red-brown, and while those coins still hold value, fully red examples are far rarer. A 1959 penny with blazing original red color free of spots and carbon marks can be worth many times more than a similar coin with dull or uneven toning. This is one of the main reasons why professional authentication and grading are so important for this issue. The 1959 No Mintmark penny is also popular because it attracts multiple types of collectors. Beginners appreciate it as an affordable entry into memorial cent collecting, while advanced collectors chase the finest known examples. Registry set competitors, in particular, are willing to pay extraordinary prices for top population coins, because owning the best example known can define an entire collection. This competitive pressure is what pushes values higher over time. Another important aspect is long-term market confidence. Lincoln cents remain one of the most widely collected U.S. coins. Demand does not disappear with trends, because new collectors enter the hobby every year. The 1959 issue, being the first memorial cent, benefits directly from this constant interest. Coins with historical significance tend to outperform ordinary issues, especially when they are tied to a major design change. Authentication is critical when discussing value at the highest levels. Coins that achieve exceptional prices are always professionally graded and certified. This assures buyers that the coin is genuine, accurately graded, and free from alterations. For anyone who believes they may own a high-quality 1959 penny, professional grading is often the difference between a modest value and a significant one. What truly surprises many people is how auction results have shaped perceptions of this coin. While most examples are affordable, the finest known specimens have achieved remarkable results when offered publicly. These sales are not based on hype, but on competitive bidding among knowledgeable collectors who understand rarity at the highest grade levels. When demand meets limited supply, prices can rise very quickly. It is also important to understand that the value of this coin is not about guarantees, but about potential supported by historical data. Coins that combine first-year design status, strong collector demand, and top-condition rarity consistently perform well in the market. This is why the 1959 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark continues to be discussed and studied by collectors across the United States. Many people ask whether it is realistic for a penny to be worth serious money. The answer lies in population reports and auction records. When only a handful of coins exist in the highest grades, even a common date issue can become a trophy piece. This is exactly what has happened with the finest known examples of the 1959 penny. In fact, the highest price ever recorded at auction for a 1959 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark is reported to be $150,000, achieved by an extraordinary example graded at the very top of the scale and pursued by elite collectors who understood its significance and rarity. That price does not mean every 1959 penny is worth that amount, but it does prove the potential value of this coin when all the right factors come together: exceptional condition, original surfaces, strong strike, professional certification, and intense collector demand. This is why it is always worth taking a closer look at your coins, understanding what makes them valuable, and recognizing that even the most familiar pennies can carry surprising and legitimate value in the right circumstances. Coin number 2. Everyone thinks they know the Lincoln Memorial penny, but almost no one is prepared for what you're about to hear. A penny dated 1976 with a small D mint mark, a coin most Americans have seen countless times, has quietly become one of the most misunderstood and underestimated modern-era Lincoln cents. While millions were produced, very few exist in the condition and quality that serious collectors compete for, and that gap between common and exceptional is exactly where real value is created. This is not a story about spare change, it is about rarity hiding in plain sight. The 1976 D. Lincoln Memorial penny was struck during America's bicentennial year, a time of massive coin production and heavy circulation. Because the U.S. Mint was focused on quantity rather than perfection, many coins left the presses with weak strikes, surface issues, or poor luster. As a result, most examples were quickly worn down in everyday use. What collectors value today are the survivors that somehow escaped circulation and retained sharp details, clean surfaces, and original copper color. Condition is the single most important factor with this coin. In lower grades, the 1976 D penny is common and modestly priced, but at the highest mint state levels, it becomes an entirely different coin. Pennies from this year are notoriously difficult to find with full original red color, strong definition in Lincoln's hair, and crisp, fully struck memorial columns. Even tiny imperfections can keep a coin from reaching the grades that matter most in the collector market. Professional grading has revealed just how rare top-quality examples really are. Population reports show a dramatic drop-off once you reach the highest grades. This means that while millions were minted, only a microscopic number qualify as elite-level coins. Advanced collectors and registry set competitors understand this clearly, which is why bidding wars occur when a top specimen appears at auction. Strike quality also separates ordinary coins from exceptional ones. Many 1976 D pennies show softness in key areas, especially on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and the lettering. Coins with a strong, even strike across both sides are far scarcer than most people realize. When combined with pristine surfaces and full mint luster, these coins immediately stand out to professionals. Color plays a major role as well. Original red copper is highly prized, but copper is sensitive and easily damaged. Spots, streaks, and toning can severely limit value. A 1976 D penny that retains blazing red color without carbon marks is extraordinarily difficult to locate. This is one of the main reasons prices escalate so quickly at the top of the grading scale. Collector demand for Lincoln cents remains exceptionally strong in the United States. These coins appeal to beginners, seasoned collectors, and high-end investors alike. The Lincoln Memorial Series, in particular, has gained renewed attention as collectors push for the finest known examples of each date and mintmark. The 1976 D penny benefits directly from this competitive environment. Market confidence also supports the value of this coin. Modern-era Lincoln cents with top-grade rarity have shown consistent strength over time. As grading standards tighten and collectors become more selective, truly elite examples stand out even more. This creates long-term pressure on supply, which is already extremely limited. Authentication is essential at this level. Coins that bring serious money are always certified by major grading services. This provides buyers with confidence and protects the integrity of the market. Anyone who believes they may own a high-quality 1976 D penny should understand that professional grading is not optional when significant value is involved. Auction history proves that this coin's value is not theoretical. When exceptional examples are offered publicly, the results are driven by informed collectors who understand exactly how rare these coins are at the highest levels. These are not impulse purchases, but strategic acquisitions by people who know the Lincoln cent market inside and out. The strongest confirmation of this coin's potential comes from the auction record itself. The highest price ever recorded for a 1976 Lincoln Memorial penny with a D mint mark is $67,000, achieved by a superb, top-grade example that combined flawless surfaces, full original red color, and an exceptional strike, making it one of the finest known specimens available to collectors. That price does not suggest that every 1976 D penny is worth a fortune, but it does demonstrate what is possible when rarity, condition, certification, and demand align perfectly. This is why the 1976 D Lincoln Memorial penny deserves serious attention, and why even the most familiar coins should never be underestimated when true quality is involved. Coin number 3. No one expects a penny like this to matter. It looks ordinary, it feels ordinary, and it has been ignored for decades. Yet, the 1974 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark sits quietly at the center of one of the biggest misunderstandings in modern U.S. coin collecting. This coin proves a powerful truth that most people never learn. Value is not created by how old a coin is, but by how rare it becomes in the right condition. And this specific penny has shocked collectors again and again when its true potential is revealed. The 1974 No Mintmark Lincoln Memorial penny was struck in Philadelphia during a period of extremely high production. The U.S. Mint was focused on volume, not perfection, and pennies were treated as disposable objects meant to circulate quickly. Because of that, the overwhelming majority of these coins entered daily commerce immediately and suffered heavy wear, contact marks, surface damage, and color loss. What survived in exceptional condition is only a microscopic fraction of what was originally produced. Collectors focus intensely on condition with this issue. In circulated grades, the coin is common and unremarkable. But as grades climb into the highest mint state levels, the population collapses. Sharp details in Lincoln's hair, clean fields without marks, strong lettering, and fully defined memorial columns are incredibly difficult to find together on a single coin. Even one minor flaw can disqualify a coin from the elite category that serious collectors pursue. Strike quality is another major factor. Many 1974 pennies show weakness, especially on the reverse, where the memorial steps often lack definition. Coins that display full, crisp strikes across both sides are dramatically scarcer than most people realize. Advanced collectors can spot these differences instantly and they are willing to pay aggressively when a superior example becomes available. Color plays an equally important role. Copper is highly sensitive, and over time it naturally darkens, spots, or tones unevenly. Fully original red examples from 1974 are exceptionally difficult to locate, especially ones without carbon marks or discoloration. Coins that retain bright, natural luster and vibrant color immediately separate themselves from the rest of the population. Professional grading has confirmed just how rare top-tier examples truly are. Population reports show that while thousands of coins exist in average grades, only a tiny number qualify at the very highest levels. This imbalance between supply and demand is what creates explosive value when one of these coins appears on the open market. Registry set collectors, in particular, compete fiercely for the finest known examples, because owning the best can define an entire collection. Demand for Lincoln Memorial cents remains one of the strongest in American numismatics. These coins are collected by beginners, specialists, and elite investors alike. The 1974 issue benefits from this broad appeal, but its true strength lies in the fact that high-grade examples are nearly impossible to replace once they are locked into collections. Market confidence also plays a key role. Coins with modern dates and extreme condition rarity have gained increased attention as collectors realize that scarcity does not end in the early 1900s. As grading standards tighten and collectors become more educated, exceptional coins from the 1970s are receiving serious recognition. Authentication is critical at this level. Coins that achieve major results are always professionally certified, ensuring accurate grading and originality. Without certification, claims of high value carry little weight. With it, exceptional coins become legitimate contenders in the high-end collector market. Auction results have repeatedly proven that this coin's potential is not hypothetical. When a truly elite example appears, competition comes from knowledgeable buyers who understand population data, condition rarity, and long-term demand. These are not emotional purchases, they are calculated decisions backed by market history. The strongest evidence of what this coin can achieve comes directly from the auction record. One extraordinary 1974 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark, graded at the very top and possessing flawless surfaces, full original red color, and an exceptional strike, reached a recorded auction price of $56,000. That figure does not mean every 1974 penny carries that value, but it clearly demonstrates what happens when rarity, preservation, and demand align perfectly. This is why the 1974 No Mintmark Lincoln Memorial penny deserves serious attention, and why overlooking everyday coins can mean missing something far more significant than most people ever imagine. Coin number 4, nobody ever thinks the mistake year will be the valuable one. That is why the 1982 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark is one of the most dramatic modern coin stories in American numismatics. This coin was never meant to be special. It was never advertised, never separated, and never protected. It slipped into circulation during a moment of crisis at the U.S. Mint when cost pressure, metal shortages, and rushed decisions collided. What came out of that chaos was a penny that quietly crossed into a value category most people would never associate with a modern cent. 1982 was not a normal year for U.S. coinage. Copper prices were rising so fast that it was becoming more expensive to make a penny than the penny itself was worth. The Mint had no choice but to change the metal composition mid-year. That single decision shattered decades of consistency. Philadelphia struck pennies without a mint mark in multiple metal compositions, using different planchets, weights, and striking pressures all at the same time. No announcement was made to the public. No effort was made to preserve examples. Millions were released as everyday change. What makes the 1982 No Mintmark penny extraordinary is that it sits at the intersection of confusion and rarity. Collectors today are not just looking at the date. They analyze weight down to fractions of a gram, metal composition, surface texture, strike sharpness, and luster. To the average person, every 1982 penny looks identical. To a professional, only a microscopic number qualify as elite. That difference is where value is born. Condition is absolutely unforgiving with this coin. Pennies were still treated as disposable objects in the early 1980s. They were stacked, scraped, dropped, and circulated hard. Most surviving examples show dull surfaces, contact marks, weak details, or corrosion. Even uncirculated examples often suffer from poor strikes or surface flaws. Coins that survive with sharp detail, clean fields, and original surfaces are already rare. Coins that do all of that at the highest grading levels are almost non-existent. Strike quality deepens the rarity even further. During the composition transition, the mint used inconsistent striking pressure. Many 1982 pennies show weakness in Lincoln's hair, flat lettering, or soft memorial steps. Fully struck examples with bold, even detail across both sides are dramatically scarcer than mintage numbers suggest. Advanced collectors spot these differences instantly, and they know exactly how rare true strength of strike is for this year. Surface preservation is where most coins fail. Copper-based examples from 1982 are extremely vulnerable to spotting, streaking, and discoloration. Original red color does not survive easily. Coins that retain vibrant, natural luster without carbon marks are so rare that they stand out immediately in population reports. At the highest levels, there are more collectors chasing the coin than there are coins available. Professional grading confirms just how extreme the imbalance really is. As grades rise, populations collapse. At the top of the scale, only a handful of certified examples exist. These coins are not traded casually. They are pursued by registry set collectors who compete nationally to own the finest known examples. When one appears, price becomes secondary to opportunity. Once acquired, these coins often vanish into long-term collections. Demand for Lincoln Memorial cents has never faded in the United States. These coins connect generations of collectors, from beginners to elite specialists. The 1982 issue carries additional weight because it represents a permanent structural change in U.S. coinage. Coins tied to major transitions attract long-term confidence, especially when the highest-grade examples are virtually unobtainable. Authentication is non-negotiable at this level. Every example that achieves serious recognition is certified by a major grading service. Certification verifies metal composition, authenticity, and grade, removing speculation and allowing the market to operate on facts. Without certification, claims of exceptional value mean nothing. With it, a coin becomes part of documented numismatic history. Auction records provide the final proof. When a truly elite 1982 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark reached the open market, it was not casual bidders pushing the price. It was experienced collectors responding to population data, condition rarity, and long-term demand. The result stunned anyone who still believed modern pennies could not carry real value. That single coin reached a recorded auction price of $32,000, permanently redefining what this issue represents, and proving that modern-era pennies can cross into serious money territory when rarity and preservation align. That result does not apply to every 1982 penny. Most are still worth 1 cent. But it proves something far more important. Value does not come from age alone. It comes from survival, precision, and scarcity created by history itself. And that is exactly why the 1982 No Mintmark Lincoln Memorial penny stands as one of the most dramatic and misunderstood coins of its era. Coin number 5. You might think a penny from 1992 is just spare change, something you drop into a jar without a second thought. But the 1992 Lincoln Memorial penny with a D mint mark is anything but ordinary. At first glance, it looks just like millions of other pennies struck in Denver that year, sitting unnoticed in pockets, purses, and cash registers. Yet hidden in plain sight, a tiny fraction of these coins crossed into a category collectors can't ignore. Coins so rare and well-preserved that they've rewritten what we thought we knew about modern pennies. This is not a story about old coins from the 1800s. This is a story about a modern penny that quietly became a modern treasure, a coin that proves real value can hide in the most familiar places. 1992 was a year of massive production for the U.S. Mint. Millions of Lincoln Memorial pennies were struck at the Denver Mint, with little attention paid to quality control beyond speed and volume. The mint was focused on output, not perfection. Coins were stacked, transported in bulk, and quickly released into circulation. Most of these pennies never had a chance to remain pristine. They endured scratches, discoloration, dull surfaces, and weak strikes almost immediately after leaving the mint. The vast majority would eventually end up in circulation, tossed aside, and forgotten. But a very small number escaped that fate. These survivors are extraordinarily rare and incredibly important to collectors. Condition is everything. To the casual eye, the 1992 D penny looks like any other, but professional collectors examine it with precision. Lincoln's hair must remain sharply defined. The lettering must be crisp and clean. The memorial columns must be fully struck, showing no weakness or flattening. Even a single tiny mark or discoloration can remove a coin from contention at the top-tier level. Only a microscopic number of these pennies meet these exacting standards. Strike quality adds another layer of rarity. Many 1992 D pennies show soft details, particularly on Lincoln's hair and the steps of the memorial. Fully struck examples with bold, even detail across both sides are far scarcer than anyone might expect, especially given the massive mintage numbers. Advanced collectors recognize these subtleties instantly and know that a coin strike can define whether it remains an ordinary penny or becomes a high-value collectible. Surface preservation is critical. Copper-based pennies from the early 1990s are prone to spotting, streaking, and discoloration over time. Original red surfaces, free of carbon marks or corrosion, are extremely rare. Coins that retain smooth, vibrant fields with full mint luster immediately separate themselves from the thousands of ordinary circulation examples. At the very top levels, the number of surviving coins is astonishingly low, creating intense demand whenever one appears on the market. Professional grading reveals just how rare the elite examples truly are. Population reports show a sharp drop-off as grades increase. Only a handful of 1992 D pennies exist at the very highest levels, and these coins are actively pursued by registry set collectors who compete nationally for the finest known examples. When one appears for sale, it can trigger immediate and fierce competition because collectors know another opportunity may not arise for years. Demand for Lincoln Memorial cents remains one of the strongest in American numismatics. These coins appeal to beginners, specialists, and high-end investors alike. While many think modern pennies are too common to be valuable, the 1992 D penny proves otherwise. Its rarity lies not in the date itself, but in the condition and survival of these coins, as well as subtle details in strike and luster that most collectors overlook. Coins tied to these factors have become increasingly desirable, with demand consistently exceeding supply. Authentication is essential for coins at this level. Every top-tier example is certified by a leading grading service. Certification guarantees the coin's authenticity, composition, and grade. Without it, even a visually perfect coin could be questioned. With certification, collectors and investors can bid with confidence, knowing that the coin meets strict professional standards and is part of the official high-end market. Auction history confirms the 1992 D penny's true potential. When an exceptional example appeared for sale, competitive bidding drove its price to levels few would have expected for a modern penny. Buyers understood the rarity, the perfection, and the market demand. This was not a casual sale, it was a battle among informed collectors who recognized a once-in-a-generation opportunity. That extraordinary example achieved a recorded auction price of $19,000. This single result transformed perceptions of the 1992 D Lincoln Memorial penny forever, proving that even pennies from the 1990s can command serious value when conditions, strike, luster, and rarity align perfectly. Of course, most 1992 D pennies are still worth only face value. But the lesson here is undeniable. Value is not created by age alone. It is created by scarcity, survival, and the subtle combination of traits that collectors prize above all else. The 1992 D. Lincoln Memorial Penny is proof that even the most ordinary-seeming coins can hide extraordinary potential, waiting for those who know how to recognize it. Every detail matters. Every flaw, every luster, every sharp strike adds or subtracts from value. And that is why collectors across the country are watching pennies like this with renewed attention, because what seems ordinary may actually be one of the rarest modern coins in existence. As you can see, what most people toss aside as ordinary pocket change can hide some of the most surprising and valuable coins in American history. From rare Lincoln Memorial pennies dating back to 1959, 1974, 1976, 1982, and 1992, each coin carries a story of rarity, preservation, and market demand that most collectors never see coming. These coins are proof that even the most familiar pieces of change can hold extraordinary value, if you know what to look for. If you enjoyed uncovering the hidden secrets behind these coins, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss future videos where we reveal more rare US coins, their true worth, and the stories collectors love. Smash that like button, share this video with anyone who might be holding coins in jars or drawers, and leave a comment below if you've ever found a coin you thought was ordinary but turned out to be special. I want to hear your stories. And don't stop here. If you haven't already, go check out my previous videos on Washington State quarters and Kennedy half dollars. Those videos reveal some of the most fascinating coins that Americans overlook every day. Watch them now, because the truth is every coin you ignore could be hiding something valuable, and you don't want to be the one who missed it. Remember, in the world of coins, the smallest piece of change can hold the biggest surprises, and staying informed is the only way to make sure you never miss out.